this is London, and I just wanted to start recording for the update video, so this is the update video. Why was I gone for so freaking long? I went to Vietnam, you know, tiny little island country, not island country, oh, not really island, tiny, smallish, humid, very humid country in Southeast Asia. It's not really that rich of a country, it's actually quite poor. It wasn't too bad, I liked it, and it was kind of cool to go to a country I've never been before. So, how was Vietnam doing while I was there? I thought it was fine. Obviously, it's not nearly as rich as America, so it's not nearly in the same condition. So, if we look at some GDP, let's say, we'll just do some comparisons. So this is just GDP, this is in GDP per capita. Oh, here it is. GDP per capita. United States of America GDP per capita. 55,000 US dollars apparently. Cool. So GDP per capita. Vietnam. 2,000 US dollars compared to 55 US dollars. It's that country right there. Yep. So it is a former communist country. It's currently socialist, as that's what it said on my visa to get in. It's a Socialist Republic of Vietnam. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I mean, compared to Thailand, it's 5,000. I want to look at Cambodia, because we went on a trip to Cambodia too. We went there like that same whole trip. We spent a week in Cambodia, but Cambodia is more of a tourist attraction, so it's poor, but it still takes care of things a lot more. Like it's a tourist attraction. It's like a very tourist-heavy place because of the Angkor Wat temples and stuff like that. That was fun. I visited Angkor Wat and Phnom Penh, the Chiang Ek killing fields. Call that out. Chiang Ek killing fields. So the first week I was in Vietnam, I didn't do very much. I just kind of went there, fooled around in shops and stuff. Tried not to die of humidity. That was fun. And then we went to Cambodia. We did some cool stuff there. We mainly just went to visit historical sites. We visited this place called the Chiang Ek Genocidal Center. Basically, if you haven't heard of the Khmer, if you don't really know the history of Cambodia, I'll just give a really quick history lesson. So there was this one terrible person named Pol Pot. Let me pull up a picture of him. This guy was a terrible person, like an actually terrible person. So he led the Khmer Rouge for a while, and they kind of overthrew the government of Cambodia, and then he made his own government called with the revolutionary group called the Khmer Rouge, and they really just screwed everything up. They really just so crimes against humanity. They killed a lot of people, and I'm not even kidding. They killed a lot of people. This is a really cool, important site, but it's not for the faint of heart. So basically, he wanted this quote unquote pure society. So this is a memorial. He killed a lot of people, he and his followers. So they didn't use gunshots necessarily. They did use guns because those would be too loud and those would attract too much attention. So they used trees and a bunch of different sticks. to the many million people who were called in the genocide Pol Pot regime. So this is, and there's still pieces of bone and clothing around. And this is a tree where people died, children were beat to this, and these are apparently, I think these are bracelets that school children have made, and then they hung them up on this as part of like a memorial thing. Then you can see these are bones and bone fragments, and these are the actual fields where it kind of like took place. This is one of the mass graves, another of the killing trees. These are all the skulls. And so what they've actually had forensic scientists come in with, well, obviously they did some analysis where they took all the bones, so they figured out which bones are what, like, is this an arm bone, is this part of, like, is this a leg bone, is this part of the torso section, and then they could tell from the skulls whether it was a male, female, child, or adult. As you can see, these trees are sharp. And then, I don't remember what that was. That looks like it's just a terribly taken photo. This is a mass grave of 166 victims without heads. That's unsettling. That's very unsettling. So all these, like, divots, that's where they found these bodies. Mass grave of more than 100 victims and children and women whose majority were naked. Just, no, this is... Tree was used as a tool to hang loudspeaker to make, which makes sound louder to avoid the moans of victims while they're being executed. So they would play revolutionary music, which, I mean, when you first heard it, like so you could buy an audio tape. You could rent out an audio tape to use while you're like walking around to listen to some audio tracks of kind of like almost documentary style thing, just kind of as an audio tour guiding you through it. And so when you listen to the music from that, it doesn't sound immediately terrible. Like, it sounds like, oh, this is kind of catchy, but they tell you that, and this is, I mean, I can completely understand this for just weird reasons. So they use this music to kind of drown out the screams of the people who are getting essentially beat to death, which is terrifying. So the audio tape explained that people would think, oh, it's just a revolutionary meeting where they hear the music, but no, it's actually just a the sounds of the killing. And mass grave without heads. This is the memorial thing, so this houses a lot of the recovered skulls and other bones and clothing and weapons. This is just tourists. So they had like these little stops where you could press the like certain number on the audio tape and it let you had a small spiel of words to talk about, and they didn't use normal normal weapons to kill people. They used tools, which is terrible. This is that mass grave filled with water. Disgusting. So they also had, like, this is where people would get dropped off, transporting the victims. Okay, that's the women and children grave again. That's the magic tree with the thing. This is a bunch of the victims, I think, that they took documentation of. These are some of the clothes. Again, that's the memorial. So they had, like, you had to take your shoes off before you got closer to the memorial, and you could take flowers and drop them off in front of the tree. And here's some of the park areas. Fine. Okay, this is that audio guide. That's Spanish. There's this detention room. This is terrible. It's essentially just a shed where they just shoved everybody into. Rags of the victim's clothes. So they kept that. Child survivors of S21, and so these are survivors of one of the killing field sites. They take a lot of pictures of the memorial. I wonder if oh, it's the same person. Okay. So I think this is one of the killers. I don't think that's not Pol Pot, but I think that's one of the killers. This is an eating table, I think, with incense. Wow. Yeah, they had some like small, tiny like food shops and stuff around it. So these are some of the tools that they use to kill people, I think. Go away. So this is the museum. This is where some of the like pictures were, and they showed a little memorial video about like how they found the place. It was just some guy, just I think a farmer. He kind of was just walking home, and he smelled something terrible, and then he just kind of stumbled upon these graves and told the authorities. Okay, so this is how they did it. So obviously the forensic scientists went in, and then they have markings to tell the gender of the victims, and so it's divided structurally by age, and the different markings show gender. Yeah, this is the entrance. You go through there, and you just buy all your tapes that you get. So those are the clothes. Then these are more victim skulls. These are some bones that they just kind of took plastic tape, just took a plastic case and just kind of put around it. So you might be asking, why am I talking about this? Well, honestly, it was interesting. I love history. If anyone knows me, I love talking about history. Especially Asian history. I'm not trying to be racist, but especially Asian history, maybe because I can connect to it a little bit more. I guess that's the best reason. So my family they were born in Cambodia, but they were ethnic Khmer, they were born in Vietnam, but they were ethnic Khmer, which is, they're Cambodian, essentially, so they're Cambodian ethnic. That's where my last name comes from. And so so the trees are still standing, and there's still a lot of grass everywhere. And this is just photos with stuff. See, there's still rags around, but it's definitely a place that if you go to Cambodia, you should absolutely visit. I really recommend it. I mean, sure, you have to be respectful, but don't be like my family who freaking shouts for you while you're just trying to walk around, and it's a freaking memorial, so you shouldn't be shouting. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, I didn't see this. These are some of the weapons. I never saw that. That's cool. Well, also terrifying, but I don't get why there's none of the pictures of the memorial where it shows like the clothing on the bottom. See, like right down there, that area right there is clothing, or like shards of clothing, not shards of clothing, but you know what I'm talking about. Bone. That's a tree. Wow, I did not see this area. So there's a lot of pictures. And yes, do follow the path. Do not walk in the grass, because you might be walking into a mass grave. I'm trying to find any of these pictures that are quite... I don't mean to disrespect the place by clicking through this so quickly, but I just want to make sure that we've gone through all the photos. Okay, yeah, these are all, like, repeats of the same. So, yes, it's a very important site to visit. We also visited Angkor Wat, and I think Angkor Thom. These are just a couple of really cool, just, like, here. They're very cool historical areas. So, these are, like, temples that you can visit. People, I think, do still do a tiny bit of worshipping in them, but look at this. This is awesome. This is, from what my dad told me, this is essentially the palace where the king of Cambodia lived in ancient times. I thought that was my family for a second, because they looked so familiar, and I was like, wait, what the heck? Yeah, so that's cool, and then there's Angkor Thom. We visited that, too. So it's also, like, a temple set up, and they've got a lot of cool stuff. These ruins, essentially, with a bunch of faces on them. I think my favorite part about the Cambodia trip was kind of taking pictures of my brother, because he's a little bit of a nerd on the inside. No offense if you're watching this. he watches my videos. I honestly think so. Anyway, so he kind of did like this Indiana Jones like picture shot thing where he like found some nice cars and he did some cool action poses or stuff. I had fun. I had fun with him. This was a really cool place, and you know, might as well take some cool pictures, not just your standard, hey guys, I'm a tourist picture, but let me tell you about the place I stayed in. So there are two places. There was the... So there was the Selma Devi Hotel in Siem Reap. This place was awesome. Or, actually, it was pretty good. It was a 4-star hotel. Some part about it made me think, this is a little bit 3.5-ish, because they found some bugs and stuff in there, sadly. I mean, it looks nice from these pictures, but it's like, it's okay, it's not too bad. So, it was pretty good. They had, like, this pretty good pool with a jacuzzi, and, they did have breakfast, which is pretty good. I think it was free. So, I mean, 4-star, Alright, I should probably grab some soda so I can wake myself up. And then there was the, let me see here. Which one was it? It was one of the Riverside hotels. Oh, River Home, right? It was River Home. Okay, yeah, this is the hotel we stayed in. It was the River Home Boutique Hotel. It was okay. I had problems with the room I stayed in. Actually, all of us had kind of some problems, but it was an okay hotel. I think it was 4-star last time my dad checked it, but going to the hotel itself, it was really edging on 3.5. I mean, I slept in the same room as my uncle. There was 2 separate beds, and there was AC. Although the shower wasn't very good. It was like kind of the same little like glassed off section as the toilet, and it didn't have like a shower curtain. I need a shower curtain and a locked door to feel safe in a bathroom when I'm taking a shower, because otherwise I feel like it's just going to compromise my privacy. I don't know. I take privacy very seriously. So it was fine. It wasn't terrible. Oh, they did have provided snacks I still have to pay for, so just that. Freaking $2 for a can of Coke. So what did I do the rest of the time? So the other 2 weeks I was in Vietnam, I really just went to visit family. My 3rd week, that was about it. And my 1st week we just kind of stayed at my uncle's house. He owns a house over there. And instead of visiting like slightly more distant family, we just kind of walked around. When we just went to local shops and stuff like that, looking at clothes and stuff. It was okay. That was fun, I guess. I mean, it was a fun trip. I overall enjoyed it. I liked visiting the place of my heritage. So, I mean, yeah, I had a lot of fun. If you do visit Vietnam, just make sure that you make it clear that you don't speak Vietnamese. Try to get someone that speaks Vietnamese with you. So yeah, that's it. I had fun. I would rate the trip like 8 out of 10. For the most part, actually, I thought it was fun. I didn't have the best living conditions necessarily because of how humid the place was, especially the bathroom was terrible, but because the floor was always wet because it wasn't built quite right, and it was, but it was okay. I still had fun. So, anyway, thank you for watching. See you later.